In this lesson, I'll teach you how to create different black and white film looks. Some people may think that creating a black and white look is as simple as turning the saturation down, but it's not true at all. I really want to show you the potential behind black and white film looks and how much we can do with them. This is the clip we'll be using for this lesson. This clip has been shot in S-Log3 and I have already converted it to Rec 709. Here are my color management settings. They're exactly the same as for every lesson in this course. And I have only improved the contrast and the balance of it. This is before and after. So we have a good foundation for the black and white film looks. So let's go ahead and let's create a new serial node and let's label it as B&W, as the first thing to do is to turn the clip black and white. And as I said before, we can do it by simply decreasing the saturation using the saturation slider over here. This is before and after. But I want to show you a more precise approach that can help us to manipulate the clip more and to create multiple black and white film looks. So let's undo it and let's go here to our RGB mixer where we can manipulate red, green and blue channels separately. Then let's select monochrome. And now we are able to manipulate the red, green and blue channels in the black and white mode to achieve totally different black and white film looks, like this. So I can simply move my sliders back and forward to achieve a satisfactory result. I want a nice contrasty look with quite enhanced shadows, like this. But you feel free to play around with it to your liking. This is how we learn, as there's no right or wrong here. But we obviously haven't finished yet, as there's so many ways we can manipulate the black and white look. So now let's go back to our primaries, and I will increase the contrast first. Then I will decrease pivot to refine the tonal center of tonality, like this. Now let's carry on with the secondary adjustments. So let's create a parallel node below and let's label it as sepia. And this is because I want to add a retro feel to my clip to make it look a bit more interesting. So I'll go to my gamma controls and I will take out a tiny bit of blue in the midtones and then I will add a bit of red, like this. And this is our before and after. So the first look is a standard black and white and the second one looks a bit like a vintage photograph. I want to show you how many things you can actually do with the black and white film look. Now I want to add a little bit more definition to my clip. So I will create a new parallel node and I will call it highlights. And then we could simply, for example, increase the highlights over here using the highlight slider, like this. And this is before and after. But let's undo it as I want you to know how we can take more control over the clip. So first, let's grab a round power window and let's place it over the talent's face as I want to increase the highlights only on the face. And now let's soften it and let's drag it. Now let's go to the qualifier and let's turn on the highlight mode. And now let's grab the luminance slider and let's move it up to select only the lightest parts of the face. Now we can increase the softness as well. And I will blur my selection. Okay. And now I will go to my white curve and I will push it up in the midtones, just a touch, like this. And this is before and after. Now there's still other things we can do. So let's create a vignette. So I'll create a new serial node after my parallel nodes and I will label it. And now let's grab a vignette from the effects and let's drop it onto our node. And now we will customize our vignette. So let's change the mode to advanced. Then I will change the shape to rectangle. Then I will increase the size a bit and I will change the rotation like this to target the corners of the frame. And now we can also adjust the anamorphism a bit. And then we can decrease or increase the softness and the transparency. I always go for a very subtle look. And this is our before and after. Now let's zoom in as I want to show you that the face is a little bit out of focus and we could add a tiny bit of sharpening to it. So let's also create another serial node at the end of the node tree. Now let's zoom out and let's grab a round power window again. And let's place it over the face. Now let's soften it and let's turn on the highlight mode to be able to see the selection. Okay, and let's zoom in again. And now let's go to the blur tab. And here all we need to do is to decrease the blur radius a bit. So let's go down to 43. And this is before and after. A huge difference. And at the end, we obviously have to track it. And this is our final result. Now I also want to show you another black and white look we can create based on the look we've just created. I want to show you some different options. So let's go back to our black and white node, then to our RGB mixer. And here I will play around with my bars. So I'll decrease my green channel first, then I will increase the red channel, and I will decrease the blue channel to lighten the clip. And now I also want to add some filmic density to the clip. And we can do it by balancing gamma and gain. So let's push the gamma up first. Then let's decrease gain. Then let's push gamma up again. And let's decrease gain. Like this. And now I'll maybe increase the contrast just a touch. Okay. And I'll increase gamma once again and decrease gain. And this way we've created a completely different black and white look that's more dense and less contrasty than the previous one.